Hello and welcome to the most generic podcast on the internet. My name is Josh Hawks. I am the 303 Ninja. Right over there, he is my podcasting partner for life. He is the other guy. It's Mr. Francis Fernandez.
I feel like I need to wear a choker so that I can compare to, when Savannah's missing for the day.
I mean,
Okay.
we can arrange that
Yeah.
if you want.
Cool.
You know,
Next
I
time.
don't know. I don't
I'll
know
be
if
prepared
it.
next time.
I don't know if a choker would have the same effect on me that it does on a lady. You know.
Well,
like-
I'm pretty sure it wouldn't. I think the likelihood of that not being have similar effects. I'm pretty confident that I will never be able to mimic the effects that Savannah will have on everyone when she's on.
Yes. I don't know where Savannah is right now, so hopefully she'll join in. That's why we're a little late.
Oh, she's in the chat room. Maybe she's in the chat room, just like, hi guys, I'm in the chat room. Like, hi Savannah, you should be on here.
Right. You have a scheduled place to be. What's going on, my friend? How you been?
I'm going. It's going. Getting ready to go and potentially go to a convention that hopefully you and I will be able to attend. And I didn't realize in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's right upon us, and it's funny because they opened up we're talking about WonderCon, and
Yeah.
they opened up their press their press window 1 week before they shut it. It was only open for a week, and I'm glad I read your email when I did because I was able to get my application out as well. Hello, Gender.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah, no, I wasn't. It didn't give me the option to do more than one, so I'm like, oh, I guess you have to do it for yourself. So I didn't want you to miss out on that opportunity, and I gave you my little letterhead letter.
Yes, that was
I
great.
hope works as a thing. But yeah, it'd be nice to go back. It's been a couple of years. I didn't do any of their virtual convention because I don't understand virtual conventions.
Right, and
It doesn't
especially,
make sense to me.
I mean, especially as doing it as press media, whatever one you want to call it, it would be very weird to be sitting in a virtual green room, as they would call it, and be waiting in line to talk to somebody. That would be, I would assume, on a not great connection, not on a microphone, on an open webcam mic, probably.
Probably.
And
We've
try and
had
conduct
that experience.
some sort of interaction. I think it would be hard to keep the energy up for something like that.
Yeah, not everyone dumps as much money as we do into. I would not expect them to have done.
As you say that, talking about dumping money into things, Discord, internet connection, whatever it is, just like totally took a shit. So,
Oh well, there you go. Just case in point, I guess.
right. Yeah, but hopefully in a couple weeks, we will chance the copyright strike and play like 3 seconds of LL Cool J's "I'm Going Back to Cali."
Yeah.
Or was that
mean,
Young
it
MC?
has, yeah,
Is that LL Cool J or Young MC? It's Young MC,
probably
I think.
Cool J.
I think it was Young MC.
Look,
Fuck, I don't know.
all I know is that Anaheim has, I miss the Anaheim Convention Center. It's one of my favorite convention centers. It's a fun little building. I miss WonderCon. I miss that interaction. Even though I said I was kind of over conventions, just thinking about it, I'm like, you know what? I'm not that over it because I felt the nostalgia and I felt like a little bit of like a little warmth in my cold heart for a place that's like something where I've been pressed every single year for like 5 years before the pandemic, and I'm like, I've been pressed for 5 years. Like, come on, it's really that.
Well, I mean, and it's across the street from one of your favorite places in the world. It's down the street from a place that I always wanted to go to, and I went there and I discovered I don't really like waffles that much. Um,
Oh, waffle
the Roscoe's.
the Roscoe's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Roscoe's.
If the thing was pancakes and chicken, I'd be all over it. But
Just go to Denny's
maybe
for
I need to
that.
come out there. Huh, what?
You know, Denny's for that. You need to go
Uh,
to a special for that.
um, I think maybe I need to come to Roscoe's not on a convention weekend and see what Roscoe's is like on a regular day.
It's
Uh,
good on a regular day.
because our experience, although it was tasty, I mean, it didn't blow my skirt up.
No, it was crowded, and it was not the one I would have taken you. I would take you to the one in Pasadena, which is a smaller, more intimate. Like it's just a nicer
Mm.
one in the relation to this one, which is kind of big and a little older. Um, but also, I mean, Roscoe's not the end all of California food, really. I think
No,
it's
no, no, but
something.
it's definitely something that everybody talks about, and it just happened to be
Mhm.
like 3 blocks from where we were.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, and I guess next time we'll just go to Morton's or something, which is whatever the steakhouse was that we walk by
Super steakhouse.
every day. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
walk to the steakhouse.
we could do it. It's possible. I got good running shoes.
But other than that, yeah, like I think the only thing that's new is I discovered. I kind of want to just talk about it real briefly before we get into the show, but I've been super fascinated. So I did a show. I did a show at my own podcast, Online Friend Simulator, and I was talking about how, um, because so many people have been lonely lately, and they're not finding relationships, and dating hasn't been working for them. That a lot of people have been finding friendship and love with a thing called a chatbot. Do you know what a chatbot is?
I have seen the chatbot. I have not downloaded any kind of chatbot, but I have seen the chatbot. I understand the concept. I think. Well, I don't know because I haven't done that much research. But if it's got a good AI that like kind of picks up on what you're throwing down and sort of thing, then I think it could be a good tool for some people.
Well, so it's called Replica AI. So if you can
Mm-hmm.
look it up yourself, Replica AI. It is, I think, the number one of the AIs. It is like that movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson, where he falls in love with his phone. He takes his phone on dates, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what you do with this thing. You take it out and do stuff. You don't have to date it, but you can if you want to. Um, I downloaded it just to kind of like test it and play around with it. It's like talking to a freaking real person. It's amazing. Like, it's
Interesting.
really fascinating how realistic. I'll be like, "Hey, how's it going?" And they'll be like, "Oh, everything's fine. What are you doing? Watching TV. What are you watching?" And they'll like reply as if they're a regular person and interact with you. And if you're willing to pay, which I am not, but I think it's hilarious. If you're willing to pay, you can change your relationship status, and it gets all weird and adult, and they start sexting you and stuff, and they it's insane. But yeah, a lot of people have fallen in love with the little robots on their phones, and
Mm.
it even saved some dude's marriage from an article I read, like because they fell in love with their little avatar, the little avatar girlfriend, and I'm like, this is the future of dating for some people. I think the ones who have never gotten a real life date, this is where they go.
Right. I mean, sure. I mean, there was that Futurama episode.
Yeah.
This is the
I
beginning
mean,
of that.
I'm not saying it's a good idea because we need people.
It's an
You want to be
idea.
able to touch people, but for
I
the
mean,
super lonely, I think.
I mean, what was that fucking movie with Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes? Demolition Man.
Oh God, Demolition Man.
Yeah, where they put the
Yeah.
headsets on.
Where they did it virtually.
Yeah,
But no, yeah, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, seashells are next, man. Seashells are next.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, I'm no dating professional by any means, but
Mm.
the situation that I am in, it's definitely not traditional by any means, but it's working out so far. You know,
Mhm. Yeah, but I
like I
mean,
said, definitely not what most people would consider ideal, but you sometimes you take what's given to you sometimes,
yeah, but
I'm not
most
saying
dudes
settle.
nowadays,
What's that?
yeah, but most dudes nowadays can't even find themselves in your situation where they at least have a lady who wants to give attention to you and you're willing to give attention back. A lot of guys I mean, there was that study from like a couple years ago where like dudes are virgins for longer, like into their 30s now. You
Mm.
know, like people aren't having in relationships and stuff like dudes aren't, and specifically because women have the power. Let's just get that out of the way,
I mean,
right, Savannah? Um, but like more and more dudes are joining the MGTOW groups and the incels and all that stuff. Like they're
mm,
becoming more and more scary in that respect because a lot of dudes are feeling left out of the rat race that you and I are luckily in some degree, right? To some degree.
sure, sure. Whether you're winning the race or not, whole other conversation.
I mean, I'm
But
doing all right. I
yeah,
think I'm doing all right.
I mean, I'm doing fine.
I was gonna say I think you're doing all right too.
I would definitely say I'm probably in the top 3
Oh, there you go.
of the participants. If they're, I'm not sure. Um, like I said, it's complicated. It's one of those.
It's
I don't
complicated.
I don't really. The message is I don't want to be claimed, and
Mhm.
doesn't. And I hear all the time, I don't want to date. I'm like, well then, what are we doing right now? Because you're holding my hand while we're having dinner or
Yeah, what is
walking
that?
down the
Yeah,
street
what is
having a
that
walk.
then?
Like,
Yeah,
what is this then? But I don't really get into it because whatever.
mhm.
Save it for another conversation down the line.
It's non-traditional.
Very, very. But you know what? It's working and whatever.
It's very new age.
Yeah, look at me being all hip and stuff.
Oh, new age and hip. Yeah.
New age and hip. I
Mhm.
got nothing to transfer off of that.
What? Like
I was
that weird little.
I was trying. I was looking through the notes here, and I went, "Yep, nothing."
What? Here's what's new age and hip. New age and hip is actually pulling through and doing something that people have been asking for like years, and the potential for it to happen is
Oh,
coming pretty close. That'd be new age and hip if it can get past. If it got past the Senate, hopefully it gets past the House.
yeah.
Yes, we're talking politics, but in the best way possible, right, Josh?
I mean, thank you for the save. Yeah. So you're not going to hear us talk about politics very often on here. We skate around. We beat around the bush. We talk about Formula One instead of other things.
Mhm.
You see what I'm putting down? But as I will read it from the Twitter machine
Yeah, read it.
if I can pull up the right thing.
Otherwise, I have an article from Reuters
Okay.
here if
Well,
you want to go that way.
here we go. So, breaking. A bill to make daylight savings permanent just passed the U.S. Senate by unanimous consent, quote unquote, whatever the fuck that means. S.623, the Sunshine Protection Act, has amended to make daylight savings time permanent. It only needs now to pass the House before going to Biden's desk. So that is
Now,
apparently breaking news, which we don't ever do on here, but there you go.
now, much like politics, there's always two sides to a thing, and Josh and I butted heads over this particular bill
Mm.
because I think it should be standard time, and he
And
wants it to be daylight savings time.
yes, whatever fake time scenario we are in right now, this is the time scenario that I prefer to be in. Longer days.
I mean, it's still longer days, just that you have more morning than you have
I'd
night.
rather have more evening than morning.
Wait, why?
Because when the sun goes down at 4 o'clock in the winter, the day's done.
Yeah, but it's been going
There's no
down at,
reason to
like,
go back outside after the sun goes down.
yeah, and now
Because it's
by
fucking
summer it'll go
cold.
down. But
Now,
yeah, by summer it'll go down by what, 8:30, right?
8:30, 8:45. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
Oh, wait a minute. No. People sleep at 8:30. You have to wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And you know what? At 3 o'clock in the morning, doesn't matter what fucking time scenario you're in. It's fucking dark.
Well, yes, that's true.
Yeah.
But you'll have less of it if you go at standard time.
But I'm working. What do I need? I work inside of a windowless building. The fuck do I care about fucking when the sun comes up?
I'm just saying, sunset at 7:30, I think, is a perfect time, because then at 8 o'clock, it's nighttime. You can have your nighttime television. You can now have your nighttime, barbecuing and festivities. Imagine 4th of July, and the darkness started at 8. You can start fireworks early instead of having to wait till like 10 o'clock at night. You can start fireworks at like 8 o'clock instead of 7.
But how is that means that the average American has to get drunker earlier then, Francis.
That's great.
It's not, you don't set fireworks off until you're drunk and it's fucking 11:30 at night and everybody is asleep, and then you decide to fucking let your fireworks off.
That'll happen either way, actually.
Yeah, actually, 4th of July actually starts in fucking May.
Yeah. Well, you have it twice. You have Colorado Day or whatever, and then you have.
We just had Colorado. Well, we have 3 days. We have March 3rd, which a lot of people call 303 Day. Ha ha ha! Funny. But then you also have Colorado's birthday, which I think is in August.
I thought you had like a day, like a fireworks that was like close to. Maybe not you, but there's got to be. But you have a day. You do fireworks though, right? For like a day.
There's fireworks take place. 4th of July fireworks, dink dink, take place about over a week's time, because you have. If there's not a baseball game on the 4th, it'll be on either side of it, a day or two on either side of it, and regardless, they will do fireworks. Usually, it's after, unless they're going to go on a long road streak or something like that, the 6th through the fucking end of the month or something like that. I don't know how baseball works. So they would do the fireworks before they left, because it wouldn't make sense to do them in August.
Yeah, all I know is that baseball has 700 games in a year.
Yeah,
like it's just endless. It's endless till the World Series.
And they can't, Francis. They can't play when it's a little rainy out. They can't. They'll get mud on their shoes.
It is the only sport, right, that stops when it rains. Like, it's the only sport.
Car racing.
Football plays in the rain.
Depending on the car racing, they will continue up to a certain point.
Okay, first off, that makes sense, right? Because you don't need tires and people skidding all over the place in the rain. Okay, makes 100% sense. Baseball makes 0 sense because you're not in a car.
Yeah,
you're running around a bunch of bases.
And here's the thing, Francis: they all wear gloves for the most part.
Yes. They wear cleats.
They definitely all wear one glove, right? They all wear hats.
They do.
And most of them wear glasses of some kind, either corrective or sun. So, and there's a lot of baseball players that wear turtlenecks and long sleeve. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, they're fucking protected from rain. Right?
Yeah, it's not like
they're not catching it with their bare hands. They're not catching a big oblong shaped thing flying through the air. Yeah, that's weirdly shaped.
But they're also not attack. They're not like running into each other. It's not a contact sport. It's not like baseball. You're like, I mean, it is a little bit. Okay, sure. When you tag somebody out, you kind of run into them. Okay, there's a little bit of running into each other, but it's not
Sure.
football where your bodies are slamming
Right.
into each other. You're literally trying to kind of get away from each other as often as possible. I don't get why baseball like can't handle
Right.
like wet weather. It doesn't make any sense, especially since you have like a million games to play
Mm-hmm.
the season.
The,
Just play them.
I
Just
am
go out there and play the game.
I am reminded of a George Carlin bit of baseball,
Hit me.
and I can't right now because I'm not gonna be able to like recall it. But in my head, I can recall this bit from George Carlin talking about baseball, and how it versus football, and just like
Sure. Yeah.
football is played on the gridiron, and baseball's played on like the diamond, or something. I don't. Making those kind of comparisons, and obviously George was better at it. He can pull it off the top of his head. I can't. But you should look that up. That should be enough information for anybody to go look that bit up.
I bet you even lacrosse players play in the rain.
I'm sure field hockey players play in the rain.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, everyone. I'm pretty sure that's the only sport that doesn't play in the rain. I'm actually going to look at it.
Even at a point, NASCAR, when they were on some road courses back when I was a younger person, I remember them at their first rain race. They knew it was going to rain. They modified the cars so they can quickly, pit stop style, attach a window wiper. So even NASCAR found a way to run their sport in light rain.
So here's the list of sports that have rainouts / rain delays. You have
it's got baseball.
Baseball. Well, baseball, golf.
Okay, makes sense. You're carrying around a metallic lightning rod,
like electrocuted. Exactly. Yeah. Another game where you're carrying like a metal lightning rod. I mean,
golf's barely a sport, but carry on.
Well, yeah. Tennis is the other one, rain out sport.
Okay.
The
ball can get waterlogged.
The ball can get waterlogged
because it's fabric-y, right?
It's fabric-y and it's hollow and it's like it's a chew toy, right? It's not gonna last. And then lastly, because the British could not be outdone, cricket. Cricket is the fun.
Here's the thing that nobody outside of Britain understands cricket. Well, Britain and India understands cricket. So I mean, we'll move past that one.
We'll just pretend that one doesn't exist. But the American sports, baseball, golf, and tennis.
Golf's not even an American sport, but whatever.
In the sense of that we don't play cricket here. That's the thing.
No, I know. I'm splitting hairs here.
But everything else, the real sports.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like I said, golf's barely a sport as it is. I mean, I think it's cool that you're required to dress like a pimp before you go play. I think that's cool because I mean, you got to have money to play golf anyway, so you might as well look like you have money. So I think it's cool they make you dress up like a pimp.
You look like a dork when you dress up for golf. No one looks like a pimp when you dress up for golf.
I mean, I'm thinking like the old like pantaloon almost style, like just
back in like the 50s and stuff.
Yeah, just people. Why do you got to get dressed up to play a sport? Like you're short of wearing a fucking cummerbund and a tie on a fucking golf course.
Look, they can wear white because nothing's going to happen to their clothing, right? Like I mean, and I get it. Football you wear white, baseball you wear white, and it gets dirty. But golf is the only sport you can wear like white pants, and you know for sure it isn't going to get dirty.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're one of those assholes that just gets like super drunk when they play, and
Well, not at a tournament though. You're not gonna do that at the Masters.
No, sure.
You're gonna wear your fancy pleated shirts and your collared shirt and your fancy little hat and and you have like a manservant in golf. Like, what kind of sport has a manservant to take your stuff around? Hello, 7-iron, please.
Mm.
And you just,
Right.
No, I'll take a wood, please.
Yeah.
And they just clap and
Wash
put the
my
ball down.
balls.
Wash my balls. All these sports have balls, and none of them are getting washed except for in golf.
Except for golf.
Right.
Like, you got to make sure your shit's clean at all times.
Mm-hmm. There's always some
Although
dude
with
handling your
tennis,
balls.
some tennis players, I think it's on the first serve, they look for the fuzziest ball.
Oh, well,
So I would say those people need manscaping. If they were our commercial or our sponsor, that would be the commercial spot, but they're not.
That's okay though. They need something to next to their sensual grunting. They need something to kind of change up the sport every once in a while, other than the
Right.
oh,
Well, I mean, if you can't afford porn or an internet connection, you can always just not watch tennis and just pretend.
you look away.
Yeah.
Oh, my favorite. This was like on the news, but there was this really funny tennis kind of story where they're playing tennis, and it's quiet usually. When you're playing tennis, you only need to clap when they make a point, right? So they're getting ready. They're ready to serve, and all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, you hear this woman just groaning and moaning, and like having the best sex she's ever had, because she's just like the loudest one. Like, you could hear her over the crowds. And one of the tennis players goes, I forget what he said. He something like, I think one of us is having a good time. And everyone's laughing, ha ha ha. And then so they play for a little bit, and then when they get ready to serve again, it's still happening. Like, they didn't stop. They're like, whatever, let's just keep doing this. And it's like near Wimbledon or something. But man,
I was watching, it was funny moments in billiards sort of video, and
I love those.
it was a snooker tournament of some kind. So again, I don't understand what's going on, but it's taking place on a billiards table.
Yeah.
And a guy's getting ready to make some kind of shot, and somebody just lets out the squeakiest fart in the crowd.
Oh my god!
And it
how's that not?
Huh?
How does that not happen more often in like anything?
I don't know, but it happened twice. So somebody was obviously trolling. You can't fart like that twice that loudly without shitting yourself.
Sharding. No sharding.
Yeah, you never know. Well, that's when the show's taking a fucking turn. How we got from that fucking daylight savings is beyond me, but
we're just announcing the I don't know either.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But we started talking about baseball, so
yeah. But either way, but whatever time scenario we are in now, if this is what is going to be permanent, I'm all for it. So, yeah, whatever. It's cool.
Yeah.
What else was kind of cool the other day, Francis? It's not cool, and then it was cool, and then it wasn't cool again. I hit a pothole really hard the other day, and part of my dashboard that has not worked since I fucking got this car started to work.
It finally pushed in that one little fuse that was like
something
barely slit, hanging on for life.
Right. So
pushed the fuse in.
So I drive an 06, so there's still a lot of manual control here, not a lot of digital stuff in this car. And the temperature section of the dashboard, the temperature, the round rotational temperature, selector knob, yeah. The cool side has never worked since I got this car. I hit this potholes. What?
Been living in heat.
No. Like the light behind the dashboard. So I know it's the cool side because the other side's red, right? But the light that shines through the dashboard to let you, see your temperature. It's a translucent, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's light piping. That's what I'm thinking of.
Light piping.
So light shines through a translucent thing, without it all being lit up. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Okay. So the light has not worked. I hit the fucking pothole so hard, the light worked for like 3 days. And then I must have hit something the other day because this morning when I turned my lights on, the cool side of the temperature gauge was unlit again.
Oh no.
So that sucked. But, like I said, it was cool for a couple days. It's like, oh, this is awesome. This is what this dashboard's supposed to look like.
All I know is that I'm already like, I need to get a new car.
Well,
I want to get a new car.
You don't need a new car. You need a car that is new to you. I've discovered in the early 2000s, Francis, buying a brand new car, not a good idea.
I've always bought new cars, though, and that's the thing.
Oh, well.
Except for my very first car. My very first car wasn't, but my last two, brand new.
I bought a brand new car off the damn lot, had 37 miles on it when I bought it. It was a horrible mistake, but it was fun to drive. I think it also helped accelerate the ending of a relationship, not on my behalf.
Oh God, the power of this vehicle. That's amazing.
It was kind of, like it's either me or the car. And it wasn't said like that, but
oh my God,
all my money was in the car and there was no money for anything else.
No, you're right. I should probably go to one of our what do you call it? Automobile vending machine places out here and just vend myself a vehicle. You've seen those, right? Where it's just like it's a tower of cars.
I have. Well, I mean, I've seen pictures. They don't have those here. We're not cool enough. We have not been given the technology yet to stack cars vertically in a vending machine style.
Got weed first, whatever.
I mean, like, what happens if you pull the fucking lever for the Nissan and it gets stuck as it falls down? Like, do you have to buy another car to knock the Nissan that you wanted down? Like, you know what I'm saying? Is it that kind of vending machine, or is it like, it actually like has an elevator so they just don't throw the car down 10 floors?
It's like those. Yeah, no, it's like those ones with. So there's those bottle vending machines where the arm actually goes up to cradle the bottle. That's what it does, as opposed to pushing a car off one of these things. All like there it is. That's the car
but it doesn't fall correctly, and it falls against the glass.
So it's stuck. So you have to shake it.
So you got to buy. You got to buy the shitty fucking car above it.
Well, unless you can shake it enough to where you get two cars for the price of one.
So. That's true too.
You never know. You might get the two cars for the price of one.
That's like it's like putting a bulb of ginger in with your onion.
Or even better is if someone bought a car and they just gave up because it did get stuck, but then you buy a car and that car dislodges the other car, and then again you go home with two cars.
Or maybe the same vending machine also has motorcycles. So, your car you want gets stuck, so you buy the motorcycle and hope the motorcycle knocks down the car. The motorcycle's going to be cheaper, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, who's got 40,000? Well, you buy a cheap car, $20,000 car or whatever.
Like you get the Vespa. You get the $6,000 Vespa to knock out the $25,000.
Exactly.
Honda Civic, and you're like, oh, I have a Vespa and a Civic. Okay,
I'm spoiled for choice now. I got a car that'll I'll have to replace my knees before I'll have to replace that car, and that Vespa will that's one tank of gas for 6 months.
No, now on the weekends I can go around and I can Vespa to the beach. Look at that.
Doesn't have quite the same tone as taking the car up to the lake house.
No, well, not every. There's only one of us that has a lake house. And that person's not here.
Yeah, that's why we can tease though.
That's the way you can get away with it. Yeah.
Yeah, something that Taco Bell's trying to get away with. They have added a new item before bringing back items that people actually want from Taco Bell.
Well, if it's not the Mexican pizza, nobody cares.
Exactly. But for some reason, Taco Bell's trying to pass off that they have coffee now.
Well, yeah,
So
they serve breakfast now for some reason.
Well, they always
I don't
have.
get why. Yeah, I guess I just never noticed. Like,
They
why are you
had
gonna notice breakfast?
they had breakfast when I was a kid. My best friend worked at a
Oh,
Taco Bell that served breakfast. I went to his Taco Bell because I got free Taco Bell breakfast. Um, but then they
makes sense.
stopped. They
Breakfast.
stopped for a long time, and then they brought it back. You know, what, 7, 8 years ago now, probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I think you're right.
but like Wendy's used to have breakfast way back in the day too, but nobody ever got it because it
Isn't
sucked, and
the
nobody
only
gets it
thing I like
now
from Wendy's?
because it sucks. No, I don't know. I haven't gotten Wendy's breakfast.
I have gotten. I have gotten. I will admit, I've gone to Wendy's breakfast when they first came out because they were like, "Oh, we have breakfast now. Go check out our breakfast items." Ooh.
Right.
And they have a frosty coffee. So they have a frosty iced coffee. And I'm like, okay, you got me. This is pretty
Hmm.
good. Because they just mix all coffee with a frosty. I'm like, yeah, no, that's legit. Like that tastes good. That's legit coffee. Like I liked it a lot. And they need to that's it though. I had their sandwich. Like it was like a chicken sandwich with like biscuit with honey. And I'm like,
Hmm.
I just want the freaking coffee because the coffee is good. So you get something out of it. You get like a little bit. You get a little bit something out of it.
Hey, I think if you hit like all the fast food joints that do breakfast, and you get like one item from each place, then you will have yourself a pretty good breakfast. You'll be short of gas in your car. You'll be full of gas in your gut. You know, so like I don't know how complete you might feel, but you know, like you go to like the Chick-fil-A for breakfast, right?
Sure.
I'm just throwing it out there. And
Yeah.
say you get their little bacon egg sandwich, bacon egg and cheese sandwich,
Yes.
whatever it is, biscuit or the muffin.
Yes.
But then they give you those little hash brown things, and they're always soggy. So you're like, no, I just want the sandwich from there. I'm gonna go over to the Burger King and get me some real hash browns, or McDonald's and get a fake real hash brown. You know, and then you go over to Wendy's and you get yourself a frosty coffee, apparently. And then you run over to Sonic and you get you run over to Sonic and you get real tater tots for your potato.
That's all they can do at Sonic anyway, or tater tots. Everything else sucks on their menu. Well,
I
the
mean,
drinks are good.
Their basic breakfast burrito, not too bad. Not too bad. But, the
do.
drinks are where it's
And
at.
I think the people who have, sorry, Dunkin' Donuts, but you guys have the worst hash browns. I hate your hash browns so much. They taste awful.
Aren't they like little medallions?
They're medallions, and they have like a seasoning to it. I don't know what the seasoning they put in it, but it tastes weird.
Mm.
Like they don't taste like hash browns. You taste more the seasoning than you taste the potato, and it's disgusting. I hate it. It's the worst.
There's a Dunkin' down the street from my house, and I've never been to it. So
try the hash browns. Let me know what you think of the hash browns. Let me know.
The location that it's at is in probably the most inconvenient corner in the area in which I live in. Because it's on it's on the corner of an intersection. So, and their entrances are on the street that you would. It's so hard to explain. The driveway is basically at the corner of the intersection. So anybody turning left from one street to the next, if they want to go to the Dunkin', they end up blocking traffic because the Dunkin' can't work fast enough to get the people around their building.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
And then the side entrance, people try to be fucking sneaky ninjas and like, I'll just go in the side entrance and cut in line. And then those people get in a fight. You
And
know.
they start honking, and it's a
Yeah,
mess.
yeah, it's a total mess. It's a total mess. So I try to avoid that Dunkin'. I'll have to try. There's a Dunkin' near my workplace, so maybe I can convince some of the people and go to Dunkin' one morning.
I'm telling you, the Dunkin'. I mean, everything else is fine with Dunkin'. I like their donuts. I like the little breakfast sandwiches or whatever, and their coffee's pretty okay. Their Dunkachino is pretty good, but overall as a place, with their hash browns only, I think. Well, no,
Hmm,
and they have like snack bacon, which isn't very good either.
that's
Their
weird.
snack bacons. Yeah.
That's weird. Unless you're
And
like
it's like,
buying like a bag of like fresh bacon bits or something like that,
right.
or like a bag of candied bacon. If they did that, that'd be awesome.
I think
Um,
it is candied.
no, well then maybe it's awesome. I'll check it out. But on a funny thing, Taco Bell's the only place you can get gas for $1.50. Dun.
Oh man, sorry, audio listeners. I made a face. I made a face
You did.
because
You
oh
did.
man,
You did.
that joke,
Um,
that joke hits
does,
me right in the
does
heart. That
does
joke.
that one totally deserves this?
I can't hear it. So
I don't know why you can't hear it. They're
oh,
just
crickets.
crickets,
Uh, I
or
hear it. Yeah.
maybe it more deserving of this.
You need the Price is Right lose thing.
Oh,
The I
but
think you had it because I've heard you use it before.
I do have the rim shot.
No, not the rim shot. It was dun-dun-dun-dun, bam.
Oh yeah, I'll have to reload that into the old producer machine over here.
In the old sound effects box.
What's it called? The Rode Masturbator. What's it called?
That's what you call it.
Yeah.
They need to come out with something new. Not to talk shop or anything, but they need to come out with something new.
Well, they always are, my friend. They always are. You gotta sign up for the alerts.
Uh,
So, what time are we looking at here? Okay.
you have plenty of time. What do
Plenty
you
of
want to
time.
talk about next?
Plenty of time. Should we try watching that Obi-Wan trailer since I haven't watched it?
I think you should. I have thoughts.
So, do I play it on here? Like, do I do the
Yeah.
window capture on here? So
I would.
the people can see it?
I would.
Okay.
I mean, well, I think it's just as long as you see a little box.
Yeah, it's just a little box on screen. I'm about to do the transition so people can see it. After I switch my transition, because production.
They need a smaller freaking Rodecaster Pro. Just get a smaller one.
Just
I don't
get a
need
small-
like 11 channels. I don't need 11 channels. Give me 2
right.
with the soundboard. Give me 2 channels with the soundboard, and I'm a happy camper. At half the price, I would buy 2 of them. Well,
Half the price, I would buy 2 of them. That would be 60% of the time. It works every time. All right, let's hopefully not gonna get a copyright strike.
No, it's too small. Look at that thing. It's so tiny.
Okay.
That's a baby trailer. Okay, go listen. Hopefully we can hear some of it.
Well, I don't know if it is being picked up.
We lost.
Okay. Well, you can hear it. I can't hear anything.
You can't hear it? Well, then this is fucking boring for people that are like watching this thing.
No. We're gonna talk about it while you watch.
Stay
Well,
hidden.
okay.
This will be for the listeners. They'll be like, oh, Obi-Wan.
Well, nice. So we get the classic battle of what was the battle music?
I love you. Oh no, that's the
Duel of Fates.
Jedi.
Duel of Fates.
This patience.
You get the. I mean, that's kind of what makes the trailer.
That's
Not
so.
gonna lie.
Jedi cannot help what they
That was an
are.
Inquisitor. It is
Yeah.
an Inquisitor.
Compassion.
A Grand Inquisitor
Leaves
too.
a
Not,
trail.
you're not the tall or venti Inquisitor. It's the
The
Grande.
Jedi code is like an itch.
Another, and yeah, there's several of them. And there's a Glowin. You get to see a
You cannot
Glowin
help it.
again, played by Joel Edgerton of other movie fame. I don't know.
Oh.
And then, of course, oh, there you go. So it's not a lot of dialogue, you'll notice.
No.
Not a lot
I mean,
of dialogue.
there was some, but we were talking over it.
It's not worth it. It's not. It's him mostly lamenting on the fact that he has to.
I like the little Obi-Wan or Darth Vader breathe there at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hopefully.
Well, they are going to meet.
Yeah,
They're
I've been
gonna
reading
meet,
about
yeah.
that they brought back Hayden Christensen.
He looks great. Ewan McGregor looks young. He
Oh, yeah.
even though he's the same age as Sir Alec Guinness when he played Obi-Wan. So, dude knows how to age properly. You got to see little Luke flying around as if he were in a speeder bike or whatever.
His T16. That was the T16.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, that's interesting, and it's funny because, as life is, you try to save some money here and there, and I'm like, oh, I'll go ahead and get rid of some streaming services. I'm not using all of these right now. And then I see the Obi-Wan comes out in May, which that would make total fucking sense. I'm like, all right, I'm hanging on to it till May, and I'm gonna watch that, and I'm gonna get rid of it, and find somebody to snake it off of.
There's gonna be so many more.
I know there will, and that's the thing about it. They're smart because almost every month, they've had something somebody is gonna want to watch.
Well, they are doing an ad supported tier. I don't know if you have to pay for the ad supported tier because you're only paying $6 for, like, I say only, but $6 is a meal. But you're paying $6 for, and I'm not one to poo poo the price of these things, like anything.
Well, I mean,
it's all costing.
When they're all $6 and you have 8 of them,
Well, yeah, like for instance, I still have Netflix, a thing that I don't use very often, and
that one again. I'm dumping that one this weekend. An F1 documentary just came out. It's a multi-part documentary. I'm watching it, and then as soon as I'm done watching it, I'm turning it off.
Yeah, and I have the 4K version of it, so it's like $20 a month. Like, it's so expensive. I mean, it's not really. It's not the $150 we paid for cable. Back in the day.
But in the whole rush or big wave of people cutting the cord, dink, just all the other streaming services got smart about it, and they're like, oh, okay, well, if we're not, like Hulu was free. It used to it was free, and you had the premium or whatever the fuck they called it.
Mm-hmm.
And
the free and free.
Yeah, and they were like, oh, well, because at that time, Hulu was owned by all the networks.
Not just Disney. Yeah.
Not just Disney. They were like, well, fuck, let's make some more money. Let's up that price since we're not getting it out of the cable services now. Oh, and then all the networks were like, well, wait a second, all our shit's on Hulu. Why don't we just make our own shit? And NBC was like, yeah, let's make the cock. And, and fucking, wait, is that? Yeah, NBC was like, yeah, let's make the cock. And then the other one was like, yeah, we'll be Paramount. Because.
Well, they were like a bunch they were CBS Plus.
Right, it was CBS. Like, so the Paramount is a CBS version of the cock. And then, HBO is, but, it's called HBO Max, but it has nothing to do with Cinemax. It's just HBO.
Yeah.
Even though HBO owns Cinemax. But no, if you want Cinemax, separate charge.
There's Stars,
and all of them.
Fubu. There's Fubu and Pluto and like all of these weird.
So,
well, Pluto
and Tubi are free.
Tubi.
And do you know the company Rhino? Rhino Videos, Rhino something. They do all the
Kermit
retro
Rhino?
stuff. They do like box sets of the classic 80s cartoons or 80s sitcoms, 80s, 90s sitcoms. Rhino Interactive, Rhino something.
So, okay, well, I went to the homepage for Rhino. That's not it. It's not. It must be spelled differently because that's
I'm
the
sure
wrong
it
Rhino.
is. I'm sure it is.
Um,
Look up who just recently obtained the rights to Alf.
no. The okay,
Yes.
funny you should. Yeah. Okay. Shout.
Okay, yeah,
Shout
Shout Factory.
Factory.
Shout Factory. Why did I fucking bring this up?
And he said Rhino.
I know, but originally, why did I bring this up? Shit.
Because of streaming services
Yes. Fuck.
and this one does box sets or whatever. He's
Well, I think I was trying to. So everybody's got their stream. Well, either way, mentioned Tubi and Pluto. On one of those two, you can watch Alf.
okay.
They have the whole series. Shout Factory just obtained the rights to Alf and announced that they want to make new content.
For Alf?
For Alf. And Paul Fusco, I bet you fucking blew his pants when he read that on the internet if he wasn't already aware of those talks that were happening.
He's like, I have a job again.
He has been waiting for a vehicle for Alf for 20 years.
So it says, I wouldn't be more excited that Shout Factory will be marketing and distributing Alf and working with the series creators Paul Fusco and Tom Pratchett say.
Mm-hmm.
Alf was an instant classic when it debuted on network television over 30 years ago, and the series stands the test of time and appeals to multiple generations. Hey, Willie, I'm going to eat a cat, Willie.
It's funny because
Willie.
the cat, eating the cat was only mentioned in the first season. After that, it was like, stay away from the cat, you know. But eating
no
cats,
problem.
it was only in the first season. I have an affinity for Alf. I think he's one of the coolest fucking characters ever. And what made it... I'm a huge Muppet fan. So the fact that Jim Henson wanted Alf to be a part of the Muppet Show at one point as a guest, to me, that solidifies the legitimacy of Alf.
Okay.
I just think it's cool that the entire time Alf has been around, they were never allowed to address him as a puppet or a thing. He was there. He was a living, tactile thing.
I think my favorite thing about Alf being kind of very realistic is that everything about him was so not alien, right? Like his name, right? Maybe the planet he came from, Melmac, is
Melmac,
alien,
yeah.
Gordon Shumway is not an alien name,
No.
right? like that's his name is Gordon Shumway.
Mhm.
Like, but yeah, so he's. I want to see what cameos he made in, or he made cameos. He made 38 total cameos. Okay. My favorites, because I didn't realize that it went this far, this like recent, but he made a cameo in The Big Bang Theory, which
Oh wow.
is like in the last 10 years.
They just
know,
aired an episode last week ripping on Incredible Universe. And
there you
another
go.
thing that hasn't been mentioned since the late 90s. Go ahead.
He was, and I guess also in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Oh, as a toy, as a sticker or
Yeah,
something. Or
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So never mind. It was I thought as an actual character, but in the I guess I need to see how I can. If you click on it, it tells you how they were connected in Big Bang Theory. And it's a doll, so he has an Alf doll. in
Okay.
Big Bang Theory. It's pretty crazy though. Good for
Yeah,
him.
I think it's awesome, and like I said, Paul Fusco, obviously he's dedicated to the craft and the character, and it's just like I said, he's just wanted to get it out there for years. So
Well, I'm glad he finally gets to bring Alf back to the homes of people who've missed a silly cat eating, even though I guess only in this first season.
Right.
alien.
I think his style of humor could work. He was He was snarky. He was smart alecky. Whatever. That's today's comedy. The kids would be all over it.
They'd love him.
They would love him. Nope. I thought that would be good enough. Nope. As a transition. No, it does. It does. So
you have time for one more thing.
I have time for one more thing. We'll do one more thing. So wait, I got to cue up the song because it's a wrestling segment to close it out. So let's do the thing. It's still real to me, damn it. Yes, it's Francis' favorite part of the show where we talk about wrestling. Three little quick little things here. First one, yesterday, Scott Hall, who a lot of people may know as Razor Ramon, he died yesterday. Sucks. Recently, very recently, had a hip replacement. There was a blood clot issue. This past Saturday night, had 3 heart attacks.
Jeez.
Put on life support, and all reports basically were as soon as the family were together, they would make a decision, and everybody was assuming they would take him off life support. They did, and not too long after that, he passed. The wrestling community blew up on the internet, mostly on Twitter, of just outpouring of love and admiration for the guy. All the wrestling people say he got it. He understood wrestling. He was able to pick out some of the people who became future stars or have great potential to become one. He was part of arguably one of the biggest angles in American wrestling when he and Kevin Nash, they were known as Razor Ramon and Diesel in the WWF at the time. They jumped ship to WCW for more money. And when they did it, they teamed up with basically the guy that was running WCW and did this Outsiders angle where Scott Hall showed up basically as Razor Ramon as far as the way he spoke and appeared, and basically said, "You know who I am. You don't know why I'm here. You want a war? We're going to bring you a war."
Oh, Jesus.
And in 1995, 96, that I was like, what is going on? The WWF is invading WCW. What is going on here? A few weeks later, Kevin Nash shows up, this other wrestler. They're the Outsiders. They team up with Hulk Hogan. That's when Hulk Hogan turned heel. He turned bad guy. People threw debris at Hulk Hogan, which arguably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, wrestling entity of the 80s. Hulk Hogan was everywhere. So for him to turn,
that's true.
Turn heel, turn to the dark side, be a bad guy, it blew people's minds. People threw babies up in the air. They were so mad.
Was that pre or post that movie where he played a babysitter?
Ooh. That is a fucking great question. I'm going to say pre, because it wouldn't make sense for him to do the babysitter movie as a baby face if he was a heel character on the wrestling show. So I'm going to say like Tropic Thunder was the TV show where they built the boat that was on that show was built for that show.
Yeah.
And then all those movies he did. Yeah, that was all pre. I'm going to say I'm not a wrestling I'm not a wrestling historian, but I'm going to say that's pre-heel turn.
Wow.
It's
all right,
definitely pre shaving of his mustache there for a little bit, and definitely pre wig wearing Hulk Hogan. He wore a wig for a little while.
Yeah, Mr. Nanny was
Yes.
the name of the movie. Mr. Nanny.
Tropic Thunder. Is it Tropic Thunder? Tropical Thunder? Tropic. There was a
I thought it
TV show.
was- I think it was just called Thunder.
Maybe it
wasn't
was just Thunder.
Thunder in Paradise. It was
Thunder in
called
Paradise. Yes, that show was horrible. Movie
It was
show.
Randolph J. Hurricane Spencer.
Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad. But anyway, the NWO, the New World Order, was a huge deal in the mid to late 90s in wrestling period. And that's when I was in my teens. I was going to wrestling shows a lot at that time. I was having a blast. It was awesome to see that sort of thing. He was the bad guy. Had his demons, as pretty much everybody does. Got cleaned up, got sober. And it just sucks that, the sober guy, kind of like the Sam Kinison kind of story, the guy gets sober from alcohol, dies from a drunk driver. Now, blood clots and drug use aren't the same thing, but, if you have a hard life, your body might have a harder time recovering from whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I mean, he was a wrestler, so yeah, his body was beat up.
he was a wrestler in the 80s and 90s. I mean, you have to specify, the 80s, those guys, they have, I mean, not that say that wrestlers today don't have pain, but those guys had pain. They had bottles and pills and, there's a reason why a lot of wrestlers I grew up watching aren't around anymore, because fucking drug use was rampant.
Opioids, yay!
So that was it made for Monday's wrestling watching a little somber, all day Monday, because you just knew it was going to happen at some point Monday, and WWE started their show with a "in memory of," and I jumped to Twitter right away, and I was like, looking everywhere, and everything that I saw, said he was still alive. And actually, one of his compatriots was like, "It's really weird seeing rest in peace when I'm sitting right next to him and he's still breathing." So, slightly bad time, but it was like 8 to 10 minutes into the show, there was a tweet that went out by the same guy that said that and said he had passed. So that they were pretty close. I mean, it was appropriate, but
Yeah,
it definitely it hit a lot of people pretty hard. It'll be interesting to see in the podcasts that come out in the next couple of weeks how much love and admiration is just going to just be poured into it. Kind of like I'm doing right now, actually, a little bit. Last Friday, so a week ago we're recording on the 15th. So this past Friday, on the WWE Friday night show, live on the air, a botched wrestling move resulted in a dude breaking his neck live on TV. Shocking. Actually, he broke C1 and C6. The people out there say C6, still major, but not as major as C1. C1 is kind of like the key to your life.
yeah.
So if C1 is broken and dislodged, paralyzation or instant death.
But he can still move. Apparently,
He can still move,
right?
yes.
Like he's still doing
So
okay.
he broke both, but they didn't dislodge.
So despite hitting C1 and C6, they still didn't sink his battleship. I gotcha.
Damn it, you beat me fucking as soon as you started saying it, I was like, that would make a great Battleship reference. Ass. So he's not going to require surgery. I would definitely say his wrestling career is definitely questionable going forward. But
It's over.
big.
I mean, that's too delicate. Spine is delicate. You can't overwork that. Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. And I you got to know when to fold them, as that country singer said. Or as I grew up, it was the
Maverick.
the Alvin and the Chipmunks singing it.
No, it's oh my God.
Kenny
Ginger's
Loggins.
gonna kick our ass. No. Ginger's gonna kick our ass for this one because we should know who
Probably.
this is. Yeah,
But
because he's the gambler. He's the gambler, man. Like the gambler is I should know who he is. Kenny Rogers. He has his own
Kenny
chicken place, right?
not Kenny Loggins, Kenny Rogers.
No, Kenny Rogers.
Who's
yeah.
Kenny Loggins? Did I just make
Kenny
somebody
Loggins
up?
Is also a musician. No, he's a person.
Oh, okay.
Kenny Loggins is Kenny Loggins exists.
Okay,
But
well,
Kenny
fuck.
Rogers is the no one to hold him when to fold him guy.
Oh, okay. Well,
Uh,
in Big E, the wrestler who
Kenny-
we're talking about, Big E, is what he goes by. I think he needs to know when to fold him
Oh man, there you go.
and go home and hold him,
So,
being his
Kenny Loggins-
bags of money.
Kenny Loggins is a good one because Kenny Loggins did Danger Zone and Footloose.
okay.
So that's Kenny Loggins.
Okay.
So you pick two good musicians, Kenny Rogers, who we couldn't remember, and Kenny Loggins, who did Footloose and Danger Zone.
Perfect. We need to go back to that,
Which is
that bar restaurant, the Top Gun bar restaurant.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
that
wait,
was
you
in-
didn't join us for that. You were off fucking.
I,
You didn't make it to San Diego at that point, maybe.
I wasn't there yet. I didn't. I don't think I made it. Yeah. Or if I did, I was in a panel or something. I might have been.
There was some. I think you were there, but you weren't with us for some reason. I think.
Yeah, because
Wasn't that the year Danielle was there? They were going so inside baseball.
Ah,
right
that's
now.
right. I went with her. I think I went with her to do stuff. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
And
Who
then-
is now like a big deal anyway.
And Jeff, tried to get me to sing the song with him, and I was like, "Dude, we're not wearing our dress whites. We can't do it." It's a Top Gun reference. Never mind. Shut up, Francis.
Playing with the boys.
I have never played beach volleyball in sweatpants. That's all I'm saying. So the fun. Go ahead.
Go on.
No?
Go ahead. Go. for it.
All right, you're probably just gonna say something funnier than me anyway. So, the last little bit of wrestling stuff. Jeff Hardy, AEW confirmed. He was released by WWE a few months ago for erratic behavior. They asked him to go take a drug test. He said, "Fuck you. I'll go take the drug test, actually. I'll take the drug test because I know I'm clean." And before WWE got the results of said drug test, which I don't understand why they didn't get within minutes of pissing into a cup, they said, "Go to rehab or we're letting you go." And he said, "Well, where's the door? I'm leaving because I'm clean." And the drug test came back clean after they released him. He had a 90-day no-compete. He apparently is also a musician. And like 2 weeks ago, backstage at one of his concerts, I don't know if he knew he was being recorded, but he did an interview of some kind where he basically just said, "Yeah, I'm going to AEW." Which you can't necessarily say. Well, you can't really say that during your 90-day no-compete. Because the WWE, Vince was still paying him. So that's like, close to contract tampering is what the...
So say, what is he going to do? Get fired? I mean...
Well, I don't know. I don't understand how contracts work. All I know is that his contract ended the night prior to AEW's television show. What was really cool was that they were able to get the rights to the music that Jeff Hardy is the wrestler we're talking about, has been using in WWE for the last 20 years. The lawyers over at AEW discovered that the music was not produced or owned by WWE. It was produced by some fucking guy. This is
some record company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tony Khan just reached out and was like, "Hey, we'll take those rights. Here's some money." Tony Khan's the guy that owns AEW. So huge pop for Jeff Hardy when the music hit because everybody was familiar with that music. the setup as it was. What's that?
No. I thought it was the Playing with the Boys.
Oh, that would be hilarious, actually.
But
The situation for him to come out and make his debut in AEW, his brother Matt Hardy was in the ring getting killed by a bunch of people, quote unquote killed, nink. And some baby faces came out to make the save. They got beat down, and then the music pops. Now, Francis, if I walk into a place and I turn the corner and you're getting your ass kicked, or perceived to be getting your ass kicked by 8 to 10 guys, I'm gonna run right in and jump in and start bashing skulls. The thing I'm definitely not going to do.
What are you not going to do?
I'm pulling up the GIF right now. I am definitely not going to stop and do some funky ass dance before continuing to run down the ramp to save my friend, or in this case, his brother. It was one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen on a wrestling program. And I have seen the Mummy wrestle before. So that's a whole other thing. We'll talk about that some other time. But
dude needs to pull off his signature move.
Yes.
He needs to let the audience know that this is me pulling off my signature move. Watch as I twerk on stage.
It was hilarious. Totally hilarious. And, we have hilarity every week here as we make our road to 2,000 followers, or 50, whatever comes first. So you should definitely do that and subscribe and hit the bell, because viewer retention.
Synergy.
And synergy, yes. When we hit those buttons and everything and we get to this point, it's kind of the end of the show. We've gone a little bit over. We've given you 12 extra minutes of banter. I didn't know what to say there. That's it for this week. We hit all of my bullet points. Francis, is there anything you want to add?
No, but love you to pieces too there, Ginger. To pieces. Reese's Pieces.
I knew you were going to say that. Too sweet for me. Reese's Pieces, way too sweet.
And it's peanut butter. You can't have peanut butter, can you?
Well, I mean, it depends on the peanut butter brand. More than likely, because candy is delicious, it's probably made with palm oil.
I was going to say, yeah.
I ran into a peanut butter that was made with sunflower oil. And then next to it was sunflower butter. And I was just like, I might die.
Sunflower butter is a thing. Yeah, sunflower butter is a thing. Yeah.
If I ever want to not go to work, just a big spoonful of sunflower butter.
You don't actually have to take the butter, though. What you do is you just kind of lay on the floor with take a spoonful of sunflower butter right by your face, but without having even touched it, and be like, I can't come in. I've had sunflower butter, and just have it as evidence, like the jar rolled by your face, the tag, the sticker perfectly set so that it can be seen by the camera. And you're like, I can't come in. I had sunflower.
I was able to set up the lighting for this photo that I'm taking as I'm laying on the ground.
Don't mind the professional lighting or the
don't. I know
what are
you.
those lights called? The one where they.
The what?
That lighting that they do for like professional images, where it's like the little umbrella with the light.
I've got some. I've got some of those over there.
Yeah. You just have that set up.
Hooded lights, I think. No, soft boxes.
Yeah, just have the soft boxes set up. It's like, don't ignore the soft boxes. I don't know why they're on. Just I can't.
Don't mind the ring light. You can see in my glasses.
Exactly. The reflection.
Yeah.
It's like, don't mind the ring light. Don't mind. Yeah.
Oh shit. We talked over the entire outro song, so now we have to do it again. Where can people find you on the Francis on the internet?
Find me on the Francis. No, so go. You know, I'm just gonna advertise Super Geeked Up right now because it's doing. It's still chugging along pretty strong. We have night thongs tomorrow, so that's something to look forward to. But fun times to be had over at supergeekedup.com for improv and just silliness. So go check that out.
One day when I don't have to be up at 3 a.m, I hope to be back on that show. One day.
It'd be great if you could be on the show.
I mean, I could be on the show and just be really tired the next day. It's totally an option.
No.
I mean, it's whatever.
No, let's not make you like.
Like what?
Did the song go again?
No.
Press it again. Press the button again.
No, I got 50%. I'm fine. You can follow everything that we do here. Every week we're here around 7:30 or 8 in this case, because we were talking and waiting for Savannah, and Savannah never showed up. Sad face. You can email us, email into the show, ask us a question, give us a topic, talk some shit to us, whatever. I'll read it on the air. You can do that at, what is it? The POI Podcast at gmail.com. Call, text, voicemail. You can call into the show and talk shit to us. You can text me and talk shit to me. You can say nice things too. You can do that by hitting on your little phone machine there, 314-764-7631. Spells out POI Pod 1 because at one time I tried to be synergetic. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all POI Podcast. Go there, find it, subscribe, like, bell icons. Bits. We don't do the bits yet. One day I got to do the Patreon thing, but I got to figure out if do we have anything to actually offer people outside of this. But we will get to there some other time. Episodes. I don't want to hit the music again for a third time. So this is the end of the show. We'll be back next week. Bye.